The following segment is sponsored by the Wandering Wenzels. In this segment of Pulse 757, we're learning about the life of two travel bloggers, along with some cool tips and cool places to visit here in Hampton Roads. With me today, we have the Wandering Wenzels. We have Jess and Jairus. They spend their time traveling the United States. Thank you, Jess and Jairus, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us. We're so glad to be here.
Tell me a little bit about yourselves.
So Jess and I are based here in Virginia Beach. We've been here for quite a few years now and actually met here in the area. Ever since that time, we had connected based on our love of travel, adventure, photography, and have continued to really make that our passion and go about experiencing as much of not only coastal Virginia, where we're from, but also the entire U.S., the entire world, and really trying to balance pursuing our careers with living a life of adventure and travel.
Right. I want to do that too. So what made you want to become a travel blogger?
It really is. I've got a background in marketing, as well as both of us have backgrounds in photography. So we were going on all these adventures and just loving it, and decided that we didn't just want to document it for our memory's sake, but actually help others do the same.
It's so powerful to be able to really impart those experiences and share those experiences with those around us.
Right.
Yeah, and we think too is that, you see on social media all these travel influencers, traveling all the time, getting paid to travel. That's their career. For most of the population, that's not realistic.
Right.
And for us as well, we love to travel, but we can't just quit our jobs and go. So we really wanted to find a way to help other people, live a life of adventure while pursuing their career and family goals as well.
Yeah, traveling to me, it's like sushi. The more you have it, the more you want to do more of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what are some of the tips you can give us? Like, how do we get to that point?
Absolutely. So definitely time and money are the two biggest factors in traveling. And a lot of times you have the time but not the money, or you have the money but not the time.
Right.
So finding where those crosshairs meet is really important. We use a lot of apps. We use a lot of Gas Buddy, for example, to help find cheap ways to save gas. We use a lot of other places to get cheap hotel rooms. We tent camp a lot, so we try and save money that way. Mm-hmm. And it's really just identifying your budget and then kind of figuring out how much you can fit, what luxuries you can spend.
And it helps if you work remotely.
It does help if you work remotely. That is a huge benefit that both of us have. But as far as the average person, in their job, our specific travel blog, we create itineraries specifically for day trips, weekend trips, and PTO trips.
So you have to be organized as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can work.
Yeah. So whether you're looking, if you have 24 hours or you have a long weekend, or
right.
You can plan ahead with your week, our guides and itineraries really help to make the most of that time.
So what are some of the tips you can give us? Like, how do we get to that point?
If I could give one piece of advice specifically, it's there's never enough preparation.
Right.
Go into it being as prepared as you can. Learn about the areas and the climates and the cultures of the places you're going, but on the other hand, you can't be prepared. And what we really had to learn to do is to be very adaptable, very flexible, measure our expectations. We were going out to areas on the West Coast that we hadn't been to before, and we didn't know that in the middle of July there was going to be snow at the top of some of the hikes in the Cascades.
Yeah. Okay, so if someone wanted to travel but in the 757, what are the coolest places we could travel?
Absolutely, yeah. We love the 757. We always say that this is our favorite. It's great to come home to. It's such a great base camp for all of our adventures. Obviously, in the 757, if you're here, you have to go to the beach. Virginia Beach is, obviously the place. The ocean front has tons to do, whether you want to go relax on the beach, go indoor skydiving, go parasailing, go to some restaurants, anything for any age you can find there. But if you're looking for something a little less touristy, maybe a few less people, Central. Local beaches like Sandbridge, Croatan, North End, or anywhere along the Chesapeake Bay are really great for a quick getaway and a quick escape.
Right. I love the bay.
I love it too. It's my favorite.
All right. What else you got?
In very close proximity to the beach, and one of my favorite places, actually the first park that I went to when I moved down into the 757 area, was First Landing State Park.
Love it.
There you have hiking trails, biking trails, but also close proximity to both the ocean and Broad Bay, so you can go in and actually rent paddle boards, kayaks, jet skis, and spend time on some of the inland waterways.
Go fishing, yeah.
And go fishing.
And they've got cabins there.
They do, yes.
So you could feel like you're a million miles away.
If you want to venture out into Hampton area a bit, the Fort Monroe and Casemate Museum is a really great, it's a really good half-day trip if you have just an afternoon. It's a free museum. It's the first defense fort that was built in Virginia in 1609. So the architecture there is beautiful, the history is great, and then the whole area has unique restaurants and beachfront and just a really cool place to explore for an afternoon.
And I think a lot of people on the south side are too afraid to like drive
go
through
across
the
the
tunnel.
tunnel. Yeah, it's
Especially now
definitely
that they're
worth
doing
it.
all the repairs on
Absolutely.
it. It'll be bigger and better one day soon. Yeah. Anywhere else?
Yeah.
And the Chrysler Art Museum.
Of course.
I have to mention that. I could talk for hours about Norfolk, but that really is a gem of the city. And there's some really unique exhibits, especially the glass studio and the glass exhibit. They have classes there, exhibitions all the time that you can go in and experience. The museum itself is free.
Yeah.
And hours can be limited, so it's worth checking out when they're open, but I highly, highly recommend checking out the art that they have there.
So where can we go read your blogs? Tell us.
Yeah, so we are on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, and it's at Wandering Wenzels.
Gotcha.
And there we have all of our content, and you can find our guides and itineraries as well as tips and tricks for the area.
Awesome. You're giving me motivation to start planning.
Oh, absolutely. Good.
Well,
We're
first
glad.
I have to start getting organized. Jess
That
and
is the
Jared,
place.
You are awesome. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm definitely going to check out your blogs.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.